Namaste everyone. Today let's look at the paths of yoga, the different paths of yoga. There are different schools of yoga as propounded by different texts or different masters. The goal of yoga may be one, but the paths for achieving that is innumerable. So there are a few number of recognized paths, of which six have gained the prominence in ancient culture in India. So the six paths are Gnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Raja Yoga, Hatha Yoga, and Mantra Yoga. So now let's deal one by one. Not totally in depth, just a brief idea of what is what. Firstly, Gnana Yoga. Gnana in Sanskrit means knowledge. Hence, Gnana Yoga is the path of the knowledge. It shows the path of self realization. As we already dealt with the Sankhya concept in Shed Darshana, yoga is the discrimination between the Purusha and Prakriti, that is, pure consciousness and principle of matter, principle of consciousness and principle of matter. It is the practice of discrimination between the self and non self. Yoga is typically the characteristic of a non dualistic, that is, Advaita Vedanta path. It is regarded in all Indian philosophies that the mind is considered as an obstacle in realizing the self. Hence, the mind has to be transcended and it has to be done by using mind itself. The principal technique of this path are contemplation and meditation. So, Gnana Yoga here is known as the path of self realization through knowledge. Taking into account the philosophy of Vedanta, the Gnana Yogi, the yogi who achieves his path through Gnana, uses his mind to inquire into its own nature. Gnana Yoga leads the practitioner to experience his unity with the God or the supreme reality directly by breaking the glass or dissolving the veils of ignorance, something like that. So let's look at the stages of Gnana Yoga. What is that? For looking at the stages of Gnana, before that we have to know the qualification of the student. There are few qualifications of student that is collectively called as sadhana chatushtaya. It is collectively called as sadhana chatushtaya. In that you have four sadhanas. First one is viveka. Viveka means it is the discrimination between the real and unreal. It will have the firm conviction that Brahman only is the real and the universe of names and forms is unreal. Second comes Vairagya. Vairagya is non attachment to the fruits of the actions which are done, either for here or hereinafter, which results in the absence of any desire for transactionary enjoyment. Patanjali Maharshi defines Vairagya in his Patanjali Yoga Sutra. It means having detachment towards objects seen and heard. Also, the detachment is consciously practiced and not happening through compulsion or by default. The third one is Shat Sampatti. Shat Sampatti is the six attributes beginning with Sama, which are as follows. Shama is calmness, resting of the mind on the God or the Brahman after having detached itself from the sensory objects. The second one is Dhamma. Dhamma is self control. It is controlling of your senses, controlling of your action, that is Gnanendriyas and Karmendriyas. Control of both Gnanendriyas and Karmendriyas is Dhamma. Next, third one is Uparati. Uparati is detachment or self withdrawal. It consists of the mind function ceasing to be affected by the external world of objects. Next comes Titiksha. Titiksha is patience. That is developing a state of mind which allows to be patient always without complaining towards whatever it is. Next comes Shraddha. Shraddha is sincerity or faith. So you should have sincerity and faith while doing anything. Next comes Samadhana. Samadhana is not losing sight of goal. That is, if you have set your goal to reach the ultimate goal of yoga, you have to follow some certain path and you have to reach that goal. So here the constant concentration of the intellect, or even the pure as Brahman. So this is Samadhana. So what all are the Shat Sampatti? Shat Sampatis are Shama, Dama, Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhana. In English, it is calmness, self control, detachment or self withdrawal, patience, faith or sincerity, and not losing sight of the goal. So, all these come under Shat Sampatti. So, Shat Sampatti is the third sadhana. So, the fourth sadhana is Mumukshutva. What is Mumukshutva? It is the intense desire to free oneself by realizing one's true nature. You reveal everything, and it is totally free from the bondages, free from egoism, free from identification, free from everything. Once you have attained all these sadhanas according to sadhana chatushtaya, the student is 100% ready to practice Gnana Yoga. So, now coming to the stages of Gnana Yoga. There are three stages of Gnana Yoga, that is Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. The sadhana chatushtaya helps in the preparation of the intellect, emotion, and the will. The practitioner of this Gnana Yoga is called sadhaka. So, according to the study of Vedanta under a realized teacher, he can move in this path, gain the knowledge or gain the Gnana, and attain Mukti, or attain his realistic goal. This study consists of three stages, as I told you. First one is Shravana. Shravana is nothing but listening or absorbing the instructions. If you are following the Gnana Yoga practice, firstly you have to attain Sadhana Chatushtaya of all the four stages: Viveka, Vairagyas, Shat Sampatti, and Mumukshutva. After attaining this, you select a guru to gain the knowledge. Once you select a guru, it may be Gurukula system or anything like that. You will have a guru and you have to listen to him or absorb the instructions given by the guru. That step is called Shravana. The second step is Manana. Manana is nothing but reflection or contemplation involving the reasoning or attaining intellectual convictions. So, Manana, once you hear a concept, a thing that a teacher teaches you in the class, and you hear that in the class, so it is stored in the temporary memory. But once you return home and you read it by yourself from the textbook, or you just recollect whatever the teacher said in the class, that is called as Manana. Next comes Nididhyasana. Nididhyasana is repeated meditation on conviction or truth, or it is implementation of whatever you have learnt or attaining once into the reality. That is first in Shravana step you listen, in Manana step you recollect, in Nididhyasana you implement. So these are the three steps of Gnana Yoga. Shravana is quite significant in spiritual path. It refers to the absorption of the spiritual knowledge or information which you get from the guru, or likewise other people who guide you. So Manana is contemplating, or it is reflecting repeatedly over whatever you have heard, removing the doubts if you have any, and arriving to one's own conviction or one's own conclusion to whatever you have learnt. Just like an animal chews the swallowed food, a disciplined person is supposed to recollect the heard subject within his mind again and again. Then only he can gain the complete knowledge over whatever he has heard. So, Nididhyasana refers to the meditation wherein one realizes the truth conviction that is arrived at by manana. After manana, you come to the stage of Nididhyasana. So, here you start understand, you would have understood in manana. So, you start implementing or you start practicing whatever you have learned. So, these are the stages of Gnana Yoga. By these three stages, you attain the stage or you attain your goal. So, the ultimate goal is one, but the traveling paths are different. So, this is about Gnana Yoga. Now, let's know about Bhakti Yoga. The unconditional and intense love for the God is called as Bhakti. Bhakti Yoga is the path of devotion. So, here there is emphasis on opening of the heart to the divine love, an opportunity for the union of yogi with the beloved God. This devotion often manifests into singing bhajans or holy books or chanting mantras, praising the divine Lord, or singing some kirtanas. Kirtanas is nothing but the repeated repetition of the name of the God. So, Bhakti Yoga does not tell you where to direct your devotion. It is left to you, whichever you choose. In modern times, bhakti or devotion in many have seen to be the easiest path of yoga to be adopted. It involves complete surrendering oneself to the God. So the bhakta is or the devotee is completely surrendered to the God. This surrendering helps the devotee to completely overcome their emotions. The path of devotion involves love and devotion towards the personal God. That is personal God. What do you mean by like Ishta Devata? Whichever Ishta Devata you can keep in your mind and start your devotion towards that God. So the technique of bhakti are innumerable. As I said, like you can do prayers, you can do repetitive chanting. The repetitive chanting is also called as japa. You can also recite mantras. You can listen to the mantras. You can do some rituals. So you have many practices to follow. Bhakti involves a mystical relationship with the God, who may be variously considered as like you can treat the God as your friend, as your child, as your mother, as your teacher, as your father, whatever it is. So majority we can when we go to bhakti yoga we just refer to Mirabai. Bhakti automatically develops humility and the feeling of being an instrument in the hands of the God. We completely surrender ourselves to the God. So we have different types of bhaktis that is regarded as Navavida Bhakti. There are 9 type of bhakti which we can follow, that is called as Navavida Bhakti. Through this you can pray to the God. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it elaborates the 9 forms of bhakti or Navavida Bhakti, which if cultivated and practiced regularly will no doubt lead us to the lead us close to the God. A devotee can practice any of these 9 bhaktis, that is Navavida Bhakti. So, coming to the first kind of bhakti, it is Shravanam. Shravanam is hearing. So, hearing to the chanting of the name of the Lord, or hearing to some bhajans, hearing to his leelas, or hearing to his miracles, and his spoken words like the Bhagavad Gita. So, this comes under Shravana. So, next is Kirtana. Kirtana is nothing but chanting his glories, chanting the prayers, or singing his songs, or chanting God's name, which brings relief to the devotee's mind. Next comes Smarana. Smarana is just remembering the God. Wherever you go, sit, stand, sleep, run, wherever, whatever you are doing, you are just remembering the God. You might have heard old people at home, like your grandmothers or grandfathers, always say Rama Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Rama, always when they sit, also when they stand, also. It is a kind of Navavidha Bhakti, that is Smarana. So, remembering whatever you do, wherever you are remembering the God. So, next comes Pada Sevana. Pada Sevana is serving the Lord's feet. So, keeping the Paduka and you are serving it. Um, Surrendering oneself completely to the Lord and you are serving his feet by keeping the Paduka. Next comes Archana. Archana is worshipping the God. It is completely offering the form of puja or ritualistic worship by chanting some mantra, singing bhajan, offering aarti, food, flower, and even some clothes also. You tie up for the idol. This By doing all this, you can attain self satisfaction or inner satisfaction, and you can inspire also. So next comes Vandana. Vandana is saluting to the God. It is offering salute to the God. Gradually, this leads the devotee to completely surrender all his emotions, all his ego, and everything to the God. So, Vandana is just salute to the God. This may involve bowing in front of the Lord, or touching his feet, or just doing Vandana, Namaskara Sthiti. So, next comes Dasya. Dasya involves adopting the role of a servant to the Lord, thinking yourself that you are the servant of the Lord and doing all the work related to the God. It may include, like, some people, they go to the temple, they sweep the temple every day, and they do that work thinking that they are dasyas or the servant of the Lord. So it is a kind of it's not like that you are totally doing the same work every day. It depends, like whatever you feel, you think, you do, totally serving the Lord in any kind of matter. But you are doing everything from your heart. Nobody is asking, or nobody is like paying, or they are hiring you to do that work. You are doing it from your heart. You are serving the God. Next comes Sakhya. Sakhya means friendship, thinking the God as your friend. Actually, like for Sakya, once we think Sakya, immediately our mind flashes a name. Which is that? Yes, that is Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was thinking Kali Devi as friend, and he used to speak to Kali Devi as a friend. Next is Atma Nivedana. Atma Nivedana involves total surrender to of oneself to the Lord. Even the small trace of ego is eliminated in his form of devotion to the Lord and his will. He is completely filled with the devotion to the Lord. The devotee gains the knowledge of true self in the form of devotion, where the devotee and the Lord becomes one, thinking that yes, Atma, Paramatma, Atma is in me, so I am Paramatma. Leaving all the ill things, whatever you have in your mind and soul, leaving it out, thinking Atma Nivedana. So now what are the qualities of bhakta? A bhakta, once you have to feel that you are a bhakta, or once you have to become a devotee, you should have certain qualities. So according to Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says there are four kind of bhaktas. First one is artha. Artha is distressed. Next, jignasu. Jignasu is curious, curious of everything. Why, what. He is jignasu. Next one is artharthi. Artharthi is desire of wealth. Oh God, I'll give you this, give me that much of wealth. I'll do this, give me that much of wealth. This kind of people all belong to artharthi. Gnani. Gnani is he who, in search of knowledge of the absolute. Gnani is always, he goes to the God to get the gnana, to get the knowledge. So these are the four types of devotees according to Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna says these are the four types of devotees found on the earth. So you can just think of yourself where you belong to. Now let's know about Karma Yoga. Karma means action, Yoga means union. So Karma Yoga is yoga in action. This is a path chosen by a person who is usually like action oriented in nature. This purifies the heart by teaching the aspirant to act selflessly without thinking of personal gain or reward. So, here, Karma Yoga is the selfless devotion of all the inner as well as the outer activities as a sacrifice to the Lord of all work you do. You offer everything wholeheartedly without thinking the fruit what you gain after you do your work. So what is karma siddhanta, the doctrine of karma? Karma refers to the action which include inner and outer experiences. Each and every karma has its result, that is called karma pala, and leaves behind a samskara or deep impression on your mind, that is mind is chitta. So many of the scriptures say that even gods cannot escape the karma pala. Karma pala is the fruit of your action. But the real problem is that for a man is samskara. Man becomes free from samskara only after it is fetched or he gets the fruit for his karma pala. This fruit or the consequence may be in the form of another karma. It may be another karma, which in turn creates further samskara. And this cycle moves on and on and on. So the law of karma can be formulated as you sow, so shall you reap. This is a famous quote you might have heard of. So if you seed a mango, if you take a mango seed and you sow that, you will get mangoes only. You don't get apples in the tree. So whatever you do, you will get the fruit accordingly. Patanjali Muni in his Yoga Sutra, Patanjali Yoga Sutra of second chapter, shloka number 13, that is, Sati Mule Tat Vipakaha Jati Ayuhu Bogaha, which means the life specifies in which we are born. The lifespan and the bundle of our experiences in the life are completely dependent upon what we have done or what we have stored in our samskara. So, the essence of Karma Yoga is the performance of the action without accumulating samskara. So, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita as Karmashu Kaushalam, Yoga Karmashu Kaushalam, that is skill or dexterity in action. The skill here refers to the capacity of performing an action without generating the samskara. Lord Krishna explains to Arjuna that all what you do, you should not expect any fruit from that. You should do your karma as it comes to you. The choice of human being is not between karma or akarma, that is action or inaction, because we cannot remain without acting. The choice is regarding what sort of action we perform. Are we doing good or are we doing bad? The karma is of three types of for common human beings, that is virtuous or auspicious. This is called Shukla karma. Non virtuous or inauspicious, that is called Krishna karma. This may be also called as Vikarma. And the third one is mixture of these two. Every human being should engage in doing the karma, but it is left to them which path they choose, Shukla karma or Vikarma or both. All men are forced to act helplessly according to the impulses that come in materialistic nature to them. So, to do the karma, one should be in Sthita Pragnavastha. What is this Sthita Pragna? It is one who is firmly established in knowledge and realization of the reality. The person should be knowing what is real, what is unreal. He should be having the complete realization or knowledge towards it. Then only he can perform the karma. So that thinking, yes, this is my karma, yes, I'll go and kill this person. That is not the karma. You should have the realization of why you are doing that act, why it is assigned to you. Is that really your part of work that you have to do? What will happen if you think in this way? Okay, so karma yoga is nothing but you have to do the karma which is assigned to you. You have to think over it and do the part of work without anticipating the fruit what you get, or without expecting the result whatever happens. That means a student should sit and read till the examination, then go and write the examination. Then only he will get some result. Without reading, without going to the examination, if he cannot even think of the result, can he? Can he get the result without writing an examination or without studying whatever is his expectations? If he want to get 80%, he should have put his effort. Then only in the result something will be showing off. So this is all about karma yoga. Next, coming to raja yoga. Raja yoga, as the name says, it is the royal path of yoga. So it is called as raja yoga. This raja yoga is slightly modified by Swatmarama, and it is named after hatha yoga. He gives explanation of hatha yoga in Hatha Yoga Pradipika. So let's deal with hatha yoga later. Coming back to the raja yoga. Raja yoga is also called as Patanjali yoga. Patanjali Maharshi has given the steps to attain this raja yoga. That is yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. This is basically divided into two parts, that is Bahiranga yoga and Antaranga yoga. Yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, and pratyahara comes under Bahiranga yoga, and dharana, dhyana, and samadhi comes under Antaranga yoga. Pratyahara is also related as it is the path joining Antaranga and Bahiranga yoga. Every path of yoga deals with the self realization. So here Raja Yoga is also to realize oneself, but it is attaining through body and mind, keeping your soul also into the consideration. So Patanjali Maharshi completely explains all these in his Patanjali Yoga Sutras. We have already dealt with the padas, whatever mentioned in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra in our earlier classes. So the final goal of all forms of yoga is to have a healthy body and healthy mind, in order to transcend the mind and go to what is that manonmani avastha, that is no mind state, or it is a state of self realization. In accordance with Patanjali Maharshi's word, it is tada drushti swarupe avasthanam, according to Patanjali Yoga Sutra, first chapter. It is Raja Yoga, or it is also called as Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali Maharshi. It also deals with the self realization and moving towards the purity. So this is in brief about Raja Yoga. Coming to Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga is sourced from Tantra. It is a form of yoga which is mostly oriented towards the physical health. Hatha Yoga is for purification of our body through the Shat Kriyas or Shodhana Kriyas. Patanjali Maharshi begins the yoga with yama and niyama, whereas here Hatha Yoga propounded by Swatma Rama. The word Hatha in Sanskrit is a combination of Ha means sun, Tha means moon. Totally, Hatha means the union of the opposites, that is sun and moon. So it refers, sun refers to the heat, masculinity, and effort, while moon is the quality of coolness, femininity, and surrender. Hatha yoga is designed such that they are opposite to each other. But hatha is wrongly understood as stubbornness. It is not stubbornness. As we already said, it is sun and the moon. According to Swatmarama's Hatha Yoga Pradipika, we have 4 angas to practice. This mainly deals with physical entity. So, the first comes asana, next pranayama, next mudra, and the last, not the least, nada anusandhana. So, according to Swatmarama's Hatha Yoga Pradipika, we have 4 angas, which is mainly concentrated towards our body. That is asana, pranayama, mudra, and nada anusandhana. Likewise, we also have another book related to Hatha Yoga, that is Geranda Samhita. According to Geranda Samhita, we have 7 angas. The first one is Kriyas. Kriyas is for purification of the body, that is called Shodhana. The second one is Asana for strengthening the body, that is for Dridata. Next comes Mudra. Mudra is for Stairyam, it brings the steadiness in our body. Next is Pratyahara. Pratyahara is for Dhairyam, it brings the calmness and composing nature to our body, that is to attain the courage. Next comes pranayama, that is for lightness of the body. Dhyana for direct perception, that is called pratyaksha. Samadhi is the final step, that is for isolation. Nirlipta. So the purification happens by the regular performance of 6 purification practices: asanas, the postures, which give strength to the body; mudra provides steadiness; pratyahara for calmness; pranayama for lightness of the body; dhyana, that is meditation, for perception of the self; samadhi gives you nirlipta, that is isolation, which is the final salvation. By practicing this method, one becomes free from all kinds of bondage and gets salvation. There is no doubt about it. Next, coming to mantra yoga. Mantra yoga is also known as the yoga of sound. The word mantra is derived from the roots man and tra, which means man. Man refers to the mind, man's mind, and tra refers to protect. So, protect one's own mind through mantra. Protecting one's own mind through mantra. Therefore, mantra stands for protection of the mind. Mantra is thought or intention expressed as a sound. It is the sacred utterance or sound charged in the psycho spiritual power. Yogis practice this mantra to attain deep states of meditation. The most recognized and important mantra is the sound of Om. So this is referred to as Maha Mantra. It is greatest of all mantras. Om is the greatest of all mantras. So here we have discussed about all the parts of yoga. That is starting from Gnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Raja Yoga, Hatha Yoga, and finally Mantra Yoga. Thank you.